What are you talking about?
You said I'm lying.
I was thinking Carl. I said this light.
Oh.
What you say like that thing? You drinking water.
Drinking, what am I drinking? Y'all gotta turn your voices on, but drinking, what did I say drinking? What did I say?
You drinking water.
Yeah, drinking beer and stuff not good for your immune system no more.
Yo, Reese.
Yo.
I just bought them all in Crew OG.
Oh Lord.
Oh, good.
Hey, let me post this in. I'm about to post this link in Crew32 Fantasy League. Yeah, go to load that. Hey, GY, Crew OG listening to this too?
Reese.
Where he go at?
Yo.
I feel your pain, my brethren.
Is Crew OG listening? Crew OG listening to this too?
Yeah, you can put it in there, please.
Okay, there you go. You can go to load it. Okay.
G-Y.
What's up?
You a bum, dog.
Oh wow. Oh wow. See, he tried to get you to restart.
You still duck me. You always call me out and then duck me. We ain't done with that.
How? We don't even play.
You
G1 real quick. We got Cardinals user. He 0-12. K-Mac.
Yeah.
I don't even see him in the chat.
It's Desert Birds.
Alright, thanks.
You were supposed to come to the AFC East when I picked the Jets.
Let's start this in
And
like
you was
1
like,
minute.
no, I'ma take the Saints. Yeah, G-Y, don't be scared of me now.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I got a screenshot. You know, I got a screenshot of everything. Hold up. Get my hands a little clean. You sure you don't, G-Y?
Well, next
You
season.
scared of me.
Can I talk?
You
Can I
scared
talk?
of me. Go ahead.
Next season in OG, we doing
I'm
a
not giving up
fantasy
Watson.
draft.
Oh,
We
no.
doing a fantasy draft.
No.
So come where you want to come.
No. That's not how this works. That's not how this works. I am a Deshaun Watson player. If I don't got Watson, none of these teams interest me. I need Watson.
I play Jimmy. I forgot about Jimmy.
G-Y, check that video. Maybe you take notes.
What video?
And Crew OG, because I'm gonna fire him next.
Oh Lord.
Oh, the person you just lost to? Well, if you lost to him, how you know you're gonna fire him?
He's gonna lose again. He's gonna lose again and again. Can y'all go to alert that so I can start this thing? He's gonna lose again and again and again and again and again. It's nothing new.
I can't go over. You know Benny getting fouled yet.
I forgot.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did.
No, he didn't.
Yes, he
Every
did.
time I try to go to alert,
He did it this week. I saw when I was at work. Remember, I worked 16-hour days this week.
you ain't see that. You ain't see that. That's the problem. You trying to hide behind big commission stats. You know, Ben be doing you gain stuff. That's actually good.
What's the topic using today?
I don't know what the turnover. So more surprising us.
Yo, you're not gonna sit on this mic and smack in my ear.
I'm surprised.
Oh my bad. I think I heard that. My bad.
I told y'all what the topic is. Yes, I did. I told you it's George Floyd and all players.
Who?
Oh, I knew you must have rode a yellow bus or something. I just knew. No, but honestly, I told you it was George Floyd and Drew Brees and stuff. Wow. Brees, this incident has stopped the world. George Floyd was a good man. Oh, he was a good man. He walked in all the protests too for Freddie Gray and all them people. I know about him. Okay, we're gonna start this thing. I mean, we could talk about some schedules and some records, but I don't want to do that. Okay, let me. I don't know. I can check in 1 second. Say something. No, it's really low, but it's okay. No, I'm saying it's low. I don't know. I got a good about a PSN card today, don't I? I think.
You still get a PSN?
Huh?
You still get a fleeting hit?
If he comes back to the league, I don't know.
Wait a minute.
Can y'all go to alert in regular crew too? But I honestly, for Sleazy though, he I think he's coming back to the league next year. If that's the case, then yes. But as far as I know, he could easily fake like he coming back, get the PSN card, and then move on with his day. I mean, he won, but it seemed like as soon as he got it, all of a sudden, you know, he left the league. That's what I didn't understand. So I don't know.
Okay.
No, I don't talk to him about it.
I spoke to him recently.
Oh, okay.
When I put him in the other chat, that was a few days ago, though.
Yeah, I mean, is he coming back?
I mean, from what it looked like, but if we get another user there, then who knows, honestly.
Yeah, because I don't even think it's... Go ahead.
This is a different topic. Who decided to trade Dez all these players?
Gee, I don't get it. Traded the man 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for Mike Evans. Like, there's 2, 3, 4, and 5 gonna mean anything.
Well, I haven't... No offense, but I haven't... Well, let's go to these trades and figure out what's going on.
Like, what are you doing?
Let's go figure out what's going on then. Because I don't know what's going on. What team is he?
He's the Falcons. I wasn't on the game the last few days because I really was working like 12, 13-hour shifts.
So he trades, right? Trade.
Yeah. Oh, and you know what? I thought he was joking because you talk about D-Mac, right? Because D-Mac asked me, let me pull it up.
Wait a minute. Was this the trade that D-Mac was talking about? He wanted a first, second, and third for Mike Evans?
He got a first,
but he got a late first, second, third. Like that, he understand the draft ain't gonna be that good, right?
And he said, I told him, I said, whoever you traded Dez, just send him to me. So he wrote me, you send in your first through 5 for Evans? I said, seriously? I would never send you that. I said, plus I have Cooper. I thought you was trading Fuller or somebody good. So he goes, would you trade all your picks for Fuller? I said, no, Fuller only at 87 with no X factor.
At the end of the day, what we said on a few podcasts ago that Dez got mad about. He trades the week, the people don't know no better.
But I'm shocked that D-Mac traded. But D-Mac, but I mean, you would not, this the same dude that held over Saquon and Lamar. But you trade your best player in Mike Evans, and then you think you're going to replace him?
Reese said he just gave up 3 receivers to get Mike Evans.
He just traded Spidey 3 receivers to get him, and then traded them.
Well, Dez has the Giants next year though, and they don't have no team. Man, he can't trade year 1. So
I don't know. Like we still working on that trade thing, but it don't matter if it's year 1 or year 2. He's still gonna find a week to prey on. That's just what it is. That's how he operates. It's always gonna happen. He's always gonna have a decent team.
You've been in the league a little bit too long, man.
So
the D-backs and the D-backs, the B-backs, and all those. That's just his MO. That's just his MO.
That shit just get upset, like, because people, I'm not saying D-Mac is the best or worst shooter, but yo, you clearly see you're not winning games. You're not doing nothing that's productive on your roster, but yet you're making it worse for everybody else in your league. Like you're gonna change those first, second, third, and fourth, and fifth.
It's not even about D-Mac.
It's not. I think
he's manipulating. Dez is manipulating.
D-Mac, in my opinion, don't know no better. That's just the bottom line. I can't get mad.
I think I agree with Ben.
D-Mac messed up. He messed up, but I can't really get mad at D-Mac. He really, a lot of people in the league league when you losing, you don't know no better. But it's just sad to see someone who, want to be the best user or claim like I'm in this Hall of Fame, like that Hall of Fame to kind of prey on the weak. I don't think that's cool.
Well, I think that my ultimate belief is that I understand we focusing on D-Mac, but I don't think D-Mac. I think in D-Mac mind, he like, look, this draft gonna be custom. I'm getting me 3 big positions. D-Mac,
but listen,
this not year 2 or year 1. Like, it'd be different if we were going another 4 or 5 seasons. But
even with a custom draft, if you look at the draft, after 60, they probably have between 25 and 32. After the 64,
Dez also got Michael Bennett.
Pick, who are you getting?
But he not only gave up, he gave him his first through 5, but then D-Mac sent the 7 back. I know it's not worth anything, but why you sending a pick back?
You can't send more than 3, so he's gonna have to send something for this.
Wait a minute, so who else traded him though? Because I heard y'all say something like friendship trade. I see Phil traded him.
I think it was JD for Von Miller.
But I didn't see Von Miller.
I'm cool with JD. Like, if anyone trade him that's actually halfway, really decent, I'm cool. You know what I'm saying? They know what they're doing. They're clearly in the right state of mind. But imagine me going to trade B-Lag. And like even when I was trying to trade Irv, yes, I asked him for a fullback. I didn't ask him for nobody crazy. But imagine you trading B-Lag, Irv, D-Mac. People that really just play the game. That's my thing.
Sorry, but JD traded Von Miller to Ike.
Phil traded him Tyreek Cohen. Why? This guy team was a average team.
What they have in a Circle Fest and Blitz?
And it's crazy because people complain when I traded Tyreek Hill for Watson. It was like you got raped. Yeah, I got raped. I wanted Watson for Tyreek Hill and then you gotta give up.
But that's different. That's different. If that's your favorite player, it's just like me. But when Phil had Mike Evans, I was willing to give up a lot for Mike Evans. But then when he started, when it became to that unreachable, I was like, nah, you just keep him. He's already 30. But I mean, come on, if that's your favorite play you want to do, you're going to give up a lot. Everybody will. But I mean, come on, you traded 1 through 5. You're taking a guy who can go to the Super Bowl with a decent team and helping him. His team was average. He got Tyreek Cohen. He got Mike Evans. He got
But who do you blame? Because
that goes back to what Ben said. Like, he's trading people who don't know nobody. You can't trade somebody who think everybody is the same. You know what I mean? Like, again, he just don't know no better.
The difference in like
and he got Devin Bush.
I put Kittle on the block, right? That's K to me. He said Ben. Which one for Kittle? He said, look on my team and tell me who you like. That's the difference between him trading me and him trading D-Mac. He come to D-Mac and say, D-Mac, here, take these picks for these players. He come to me and say, take who you like. Because I'm not going for that nonsense. But that's just...
So my question is, how do you... My question is... That's Jimmy.
Oh, and see, he get... Now, Jimmy probably didn't check that Myles Garrett don't have no X factor or no abilities. And he traded Myles Garrett for Devin Bush. Granted, Devin Bush probably don't have it either because he's young. But who wouldn't take Devin Bush? I think it's 90 speed.
I was about to say it's easier to build a linebacker than you gotta go out there and build a DE who you don't even know is gonna be pressure half the time with no ability.
But my thing is,
again, I go back to what Ben said. They traded people who don't really know no better. Like, prime example is Myles Garrett has 2 sacks. 2 sacks the whole season. And he gave up a person that could be on the board every play pretty much. So it just.
Well, what do y'all? Everybody talking, but what do you do?
Because you can't. He got Josh Allen now.
Because I'm not so sure. I know your next question. Like, Ben can't really do nothing because he like as like the commissioners, we shouldn't be able to just like have to monitor every single trade.
He said D-Mac came to him and asked for his picks.
So like again, Ben reads, and we don't really want to have to go over all trades and really beat it because that's cornerback. But again, you can't really control it. So
well, my question
is, you expect better. As Ben would say, you expect better from people like that. Like, you wouldn't see Reese. Reese Ben going to a user trying to trade like a B-leg. Granted, and if you do see one of them trades, you always see like the better person always get raped because B-Leg again, B-Leg don't know no better.
So D-Mac, but I'm saying, D-Mac has been in the league for a while. I would just question going into the last year, what do you get? Now I know what people are gonna say, and I know people are gonna say, I gave up Michael Thomas, I gave up these wide receivers, but I don't trade much. In fact, that's probably the last time I'll trade in a long time. Now, my question is, what do you do about it? Because, for example, we on the next Madden now, so essentially there's nothing you really can do.
This is corny. He got this award.
But I'm saying you can go and the way that I've always noticed him with trading is that he reminds me a lot of the current day Swag as far as trades. And what I mean by that is like...
No, I know exactly what you mean. I know exactly what you mean.
Swag was one of those users who went and... Well, I don't know, because Swag was a different type of user as well. But Swag wasn't a Swag that he was in Crew. But from what I see, he's one of those users now that goes to the users that don't really win a lot of things like that. And a lot of times they say, oh my God, you give me your first, your second, and your third. I'm giving away Mike Evans, but I'm getting a lot of picks in the end because this is a fantasy draft. I'm about to go all in. Now, what I'm guaranteeing you what D-Mac is going to do is D-Mac's going to hit on his first pick, but his second and third he won't hit. And I just think for D-Mac, I don't know what he believes. I don't know if D-Mac just like building his team with young people. But this is not the first time that I've seen D-Mac do this. But I just thought that because he had Lamar and Saquon and held them so tight, all of a sudden D-Mac plays me, and not just me, other users, he throws to Mike Evans all game long. But he's going to catch about 90% of the passes. So to get rid of him, you're not going to get much better. I just thought that he would surround himself with weapons rather than give it up. As far as Dez go, good luck with the Giants because they don't have as many, I don't know. They don't have as many weapons. But I noticed a lot of trades been going down in Crew, period. And I just don't know how people, and I know I'm kind of guilty for this because I traded a lot of big players, but that was only one time. Ever since I've been in Crew, I've never done it. But I've never been a big fan of just trading players to trade them. That's just me. My common goal with the Elks was way different.
The Giants have a lot of people.
What they got, Saquon?
A lot of weapons. They got Saquon, Slayton, Sterling Shepard, Dane Jones. All those people right there is under 24.
But I thought Dez always had Dez always had a number one wide receiver. He always had an Odell.
This is what get me tight. You would trade Dez. A 22-year-old, 86 overall, Denzel Ward, 95 speed, 95 acceleration, 95 agility, spike me. And all you got back in return was Sheldon Rankin, 83 overall, and a 68 overall quarterback? I mean, cornerback?
You know what's crazy?
Spidey wouldn't make that trade with nobody else.
Gee, why you know something crazy about that?
So what you think? What you trying to say?
D-Mac offered me Adam Thielen for 1, 2, 3, and more, bro. Like you act like one and more. I'm like, bro, I'm not giving you all that.
Well, D-Mac wanted. D-Mac told me when he came to me, he was like, give me your first, second, and a replacement. That was my price for Mike Evans. But I told him, I said, I'm not giving all that up for Mike Evans because I'm in a different boat now. I don't really need all of that. Dad said I had Mike Evans to start the league.
No, you didn't.
What year were we in? The first year, second year?
He did not have Mike Evans when this fantasy draft started. Oh, yes, he did.
Well, wait a minute. Wait a minute. That's even more of an issue. So how did?
Yes, he did.
So how did he give
him away?
To who?
Traded him to Spidey gave him the Mac.
So he got Mike Evans back for a cheaper. Oh, okay.
Right, but who would give up Denzel Ward for a 68 overall cornerback, and an 83 overall lineman, DE?
I don't. I mean,
when you were like, you gotta just like, when I was about to trade Ike, it was a blitz. Ike was like, yo, Ben, take, don't take one, take more than one player, because he already knew that's the only fair way. When Jay traded Phil was like, here, take this pick too. Just because like, it's the right thing to do. When you're a top level person, it's not even about like, how many people I can fleece or get over on, and like just with trade. Even when I traded D-Mac for Saquon, he asked for way less than what I gave him. I still like, hey, not take these other two players too, just to make it fair. When you sure about how good you are, or when you're a baller, like even when I traded Dez, when I traded JD, I was gonna give him Drew Brees for Cam Newton straight up. He's like, nah, man, take Cam Newton. I take a DB too. You can take somebody else or whatever. I was like, just give me a 75 overall play. He gave me an 87 overall play. Just because it's just the right thing to do. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not.
But
you
what
can
I'm
get
saying,
over on so many people.
Spivey wouldn't have made that trade. He would not have given up Denzel Ward. The first thing he would have said was, look at the speed. Look at the speed. 86
so you keep saying that, but I'm asking, what you trying to say?
I don't understand it. I'm trying to figure out myself. Why would Spivey give up Denzel Ward for a 68 overall cornerback? And
I don't think Spivey had Denzel. I think Dez had Denzel at the start.
No, they traded. Right, so what happened was he traded Mike Evans for Denzel Ward. He sent Spivey Mike Evans for Denzel Ward.
Oh, it's showing something different in transaction.
And I just
y'all sure Dez didn't have at the start of the year?
No, he said I had Mike Evans.
He had Mike Evans because he offered me Mike Evans.
He said I gave him to Spivey for Ward. My question is,
Ward and William Jackson and all these people.
so wait a minute. So then Spivey traded Mike Evans to D-Mac.
No. D-Mac traded Mike Evans. Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Because
I'm confused too. I'm like,
okay, let's go from the start. Okay, Dez had Mike Evans to start. He traded Mike Evans to Spivey for Denzel Ward. Yes. Then Spivey traded.
Spivey traded him for Mac, the 3 receivers, and now Mac just traded him
back for 3 picks.
Listen, end of the day, we gonna listen to this. Mac
And they traded Spivey.
Mac gonna do one thing. You can't even get out of it.
Yeah, he traded somebody.
I don't know. Whatever.
Hey, I can't even get mad at when honestly, at this point, what do you expect from Mac? Like, it's Mac thing. Like Mac, I'm telling you, Mac should have his own topic.
No, and you know what? I'm not even mad at Mac. If he could take advantage of Mac, that's all D-Mac. D-Mac has been playing this game too long not to know how to trade. My thing is, every year Dez goes into the playoffs, to the Super Bowl, and everybody complain about him. Oh, what? There's always there. There's this, that. If you want to help the man out, don't complain about him.
But
that's how I see it.
Well, that's what D-Mac complains about.
I'm cool with that.
Dez is a good user. Dez is a good user. He manipulated them and got the pieces he wanted. More power to Dez.
You know what's crazy as you are? I'm cool with Dez, like with Dez doing that. My thing is, I was supposed to trade Dez as a player,
and you wasn't supposed to trade. You were
supposed to. And then literally, G.Y. was like, "Yo, bro, don't trade, don't help him, like don't lead him." And that literally started my argument, right, man. Let me see some else. So it's just different. Like that's why it's just different. So.
I would say that
the fact, like, why did Mac wait so long to trade Lamar Jackson and Saquon,
but traded Mike Evans was
so easy?
You know why? Because everybody has trade favorites, I believe, and there are some users that I know will never trade. And it's easy to blame because D-Mac a bum. No offense to Herb, but Herb does not trade. I mean, he's stingy. In fact, there was a dude that I think his name was Bo or something that he used to be in here, and he would like sell you for a bum player he would like want like the world.
Oh yeah, that's Bo. Yeah. But you know what? I can't front. Dez is one of the easiest people to trade with. He'll give you what you're asking for. He may, finagle the trade and change things around a bit. But if you ask for, let's just say Mike Evans, he's gonna try to make it happen where you get Mike Evans, and so he can get what he wants. But
he said, "What did you trade? What did you trade to get Thielen? Who you talking to? What happened? Somebody got Thielen?
A 1-2-3. But Dad, you know what's crazy? You offered the same thing, so you can't even say that. You offered the same exact thing. Mac just chose mine. I think I gave you. Yeah, I gave you 1, 2, and 3.
I was just bugged out because I was bugging out because, like I said, the last few days I haven't been on the game.
And Thielen isn't even a Mike Evans. That's like Thielen isn't a Mike Evans.
All y'all just need to realize is me, Farrell, Dez, everybody. Stop trading users who do not make the playoffs. Don't.
Don't come to my DM. Don't come to my DM at all, because I don't make playoffs.
And I traded D-Mac last year. I got Saquon, but if you're not losing on the trade, or the trade is just about even or helping them, stop trading these people. They don't know no better. Yes, they've been on you for a long time. But
he said I gave a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for Evans. Go ahead.
13 win users. D-Mac is a 3 to 4 win user. He don't know no better, and I'm saying myself too because I've traded D-Mac before. But if we're not losing on the trade, let's just stop trading them. They don't know no better, bro. Not even just that, it's me too, everybody. If you know your player users, stop trading these bomb users.
Don't trade me.
You know what I said? My thing is, why do everybody help the strong get stronger? And that's just that's the bottom line, because if their team was average, why would you help them get strong? Like I said, I was working the last couple of days. I come back to see the dude 7-1, and he got all these good players. Wait a minute, what's going on?
He said D-Mac is a grown man. Anyway,
I'm done with this topic. I'm not going to spend more time because it's just one day out there for everyone. I'm not even.
We're talking about grown men.
I've asked D-Mac for trade. I asked D-Lex for trade. But it's just we all as a just collective group, we gotta hold ourselves to a different standard, bro. We gotta stop trading these. We just gotta. We gotta teach them, bro. We should be telling D-Mac, yo, D-Mac, don't do that, bro. You should be. I would tell them, yo, D-Mac, I'm not gonna rape you, bro. That's not a trade. We gotta tell these people who've been playing Madden for years.
But you know what?
Don't know better. We all gotta be better at what
he's not gonna listen. He's not gonna listen because, like I said, he came to me last season when it was last season, right? Was Saquon. The stuff that he asked me for, if I would have traded, I would have had at least 5 top 10 picks for that. What D-Mac was asking. Basically, what I'm saying is, he was overcharging me, trying to rape me for Saquon. I mean, it was through the roof. I would have needed 3 7-round picks to make the trade even, just to give him what he was asking for.
So,
but yeah, you go to Daz and you take a 1 through 5 and what makes it bad. All right, let's say we do play 2 more seasons. Guess what? How many players do you really think you getting in that draft? Daz's pick gonna be like number 30, somewhere between 28 and 32.
I think we all just gotta be even I said myself, not just Daz, but myself. Everybody, if you a good user, you a player user, we just gotta really. Honestly, educate these dudes who's never making plays, just constantly making trades and messing their cap up. You gotta help them out, bro. You can't get over on them. They never.
I agree with you 100%. But Spivey, no, but ain't no way he would have gave anybody else.
Yo, Spivey is stingy
for Mike Evans for a 95 speed cornerback, Denzel Ward, no less, who's easy to groom. No way, he wouldn't have traded nobody else.
You know, Ward goes like 99 a year.
You right.
He loves cornerback, so I don't understand why he did it.
Well, Crew OG
just to trade and say they traded. I don't know.
Well, Crew OG users are watching, so I'm sure they just as lost as dust. But I just got my cup of water, so I finally consider it. But we're gonna talk about somebody who made comments. comments on these recent protests. So Drew Brees was asked whether or not he felt like people, well, how did he feel about people kneeling this upcoming season, and would they kneel? And his reply was that he will not respect anybody that disrespects the American flag. Obviously, Twitter tore him apart. A lot of people tore him apart, but more importantly, his teammates, especially Michael Thomas, really, I mean, that was really bad. Michael Thomas replied to him with like a stink face. Somebody said, "Damn it, Drew." I don't know who it was, but
My boy Jamal, straight like that. Damn it, Drew.
Wait, and then Dez beat D-Back. 38-17?
I'm sorry, guy.
G was. Then,
Yo, Dez, you wrong, man.
No, straight said, damn it, Drew.
yeah, and then Drew Brees faced him all backfired because then Aaron Rodgers came out and said that he felt like it was never about the flag. It was never about disrespecting anybody. And a lot of players had basically stepped out. So there was a lot of other quarterbacks that spoke out. Time before we spoke about Carson Wentz, Patrick Mahomes. I don't even think Lamar really spoke, so I won't say him. Brady spoke. Roger Goodell spoke, but I know Ben's not a fan of him. And so it became a big topic. This is probably the biggest sports topic right now, and probably the first time I've seen sports players be so involved in protests, etc., etc. I think it was even one time when an NBA player like beat up somebody on the street. I think he busted.
Yeah, Joe Smith did.
Yeah, and so that, it got really, really bad after a while. Long story short, Breeze came out and he apologized today. He said, I'm sorry. He said, I didn't understand exactly how my comments were going to come across. I've always been an ally of the black community, and I always will be. And I apologize to my teammates, my fans, the city of NOLA, and all of my NFL fans. And most importantly, I apologize to the world and George Floyd's family. So, I put up a poll earlier in the chat and asked whether or not he would be forgiven. A lot of people said no. G.Y., what you forgive him?
Listen, man, you know what? It doesn't matter if I forgive you or not, because people are going to say what they mean, and when they face backlash, they're going to apologize and expect it to be accepted and think life is just going to go on. He apologized, but do he really mean it? How do we know he really means it? But in one regard, he could mean that, he could mean what he said, because if you look at some pictures, he was kneeling with his arms interlocked with a couple of teammates last season or season before last.
Well, that picture, that didn't happen until Trump came for the NFL, and that was when players started locking in, but he never really took a kneel for the flag. That was when Trump had called out the NFL, and he had just locked arms with them. That's when he did that.
Now, my thing is, if you're saying you would never stand with nobody who disrespects the flag, as far as I know, Independence Day is supposed to be for the land of the free and the home of the brave, right? We can't even be free in this country. They're still treating black people as slaves.
Not even black people, minorities.
Right, minorities. You're absolutely right. How do you, as I said on the last podcast, I would have probably got killed myself because I wouldn't have stood there and let you kill this man. Unfortunately, no.
Well, they
And they're still doing. I have a video where they to arrest a guy, and he's like, "What are you arresting me for?" And they shot him in broad daylight, not knowing it was being videotaped.
Yeah. I mean, go ahead, Reese. You forgive him? I know Reese because he gotta go.
Huh?
Do you forgive Drew Brees? One of your favorite? He's a very good quarterback.
I forgive him. No, I don't forgive him. He said what he said. He meant what he meant.
He ain't got no good heart. Let me try. Pharaoh, I know you forgive him.
I don't care. I apologize every day for the next 10 years, bro. You still taking that back.
To pat on what he's saying, it's kind of, he said it right away, so you know that's how he felt.
Away, exactly.
He said it right away. That's how he felt. Like usually, you ever heard the saying like a drunk person tell no lie? When you say when you say something so quick, that's what you instantly felt.
He didn't even think about his answer. He just
like the time, like think about you like this time wrong in school, your parents approach you, and you think of the end, like the first one you had try to save your ass. That's the truth right there. Like that's what he meant. That's what he meant. That's what he felt. And then again, that's what we said. I mean, that's what like.
What'd you say, Ben?
Uncomfortable conversation by making it about talking about his grandfather. As they said, pretty sure it's black. It was black man for a long time. His grandfather.
Well, I think. Oh, I forgot Ben's too.
And I don't know how many people know that before Captain started kneeling, he was sitting on it. That's what they said. It was disrespectful for the flag. He began to kneel because that wasn't deemed as disrespectful.
Suffice for him and for everybody, right?
So I mean, do you sincerely believe that somewhere in Cap's mind he never thought about, dang, if I kneel, of course I can. And I'm only asking this because I'm a social media head, so I just see questions. And so a lot of people believe that Cap somewhat did really do it for police brutality, but he knew what it would bring. He knew it would bring him, he knew it would bring a lot of news, but he also knew that it would bring him a lot of publicity. And they said at that point,
he wanted people to know it for the cause. He wanted people to realize what's going on. For these full-minded people that keep thinking that we're disrespecting the flag is ridiculous.
Well, who took the first flag? Who took the first kneel, though? Because there was somebody in the NFL that kneeled first. But I know Cap actually spoke on it. Like, he was the reason police brutality. I don't know who was. But I know that him and Eric Reed was like hand in hand with doing it. I tried to go back and look, but was it a problem with the coach or was it a problem with the owner of the 49ers? Because I don't know.
The problem with NFL.
Okay. Or NFL problem first. Okay, because I thought maybe the coach might have. So when they released him,
I'm back.
When they released him, he obviously went on. And he didn't get a job again. Ben was talking about yesterday how he went and he got he did a little inside practice inside the stadium. I remember that. I think it was the Falcon Stadium. And then he went on and he wanted to promote his own. He said, no, if everybody else can get a fair shot at media, let me bring all the media in. I want them to see I still got it. And by the way, I think when he was passing the ball, he did very well. But then the NFL never gave him a chance. Now, granted, I know the little settlement, but then I did some research and I heard the settlement wasn't even as much as I thought. It was like a $40 million, $50 million settlement. This settlement was under $10 million. And so by the time you do the lawyers and split between him and Eric Reed, Kaepernick didn't even walk away with a lot like he is. But saying that and knowing what's going on between the players and everything, this was the first time that I've seen something like this happen and most white athletes speak up about it. For Drew Brees, though, I just wonder...
White people in general. A lot of white people are just outraged because you literally killed that man in broad daylight. You thought it was a joke. With your hands in your pocket, basically you were saying, I'm protected. Nothing is going to happen to me.
Well, they say he on suicide watch now.
Nah, I don't want to get off that easy. That's getting off easy if they let him kill himself.
Right.
But then you also gotta mention Brees even said this after there was like a guy who used to work in the NFL saying Kaepernick it wasn't the money that kicked Kaepernick out. It wasn't the need that kicked Kaepernick out. It was because he was a liability to any franchise he went to. So the fact that we said that made it even worse.
And what made him a
I didn't ask
liability?
Ben opinion, did I? Ben, where Ben at? He on the mic?
Hello?
Yo.
Ben,
But what
I
made
didn't ask you.
Kaepernick a liability?
Like he was just like, hold on, I gotta take this one.
Okay, well, Ben, so Ben,
Bad PR is gonna bring. Hello? So the close-minded people that saying he's respecting the flag and he doesn't deserve to do
well, I mean, that's gonna happen. But that's gonna happen though. And but Ben, what did
That's
what did
natural.
how did you feel like you should forgive Breeze? You feel like he?
I'm sorry. Yeah,
You feel like
they were saying he was a liability because whatever franchise he went to, they was gonna like the kneeling. They didn't. That was unnecessary baggage, quote unquote, his words. He didn't. That was the stuff that they didn't.
So you'd rather give up a shot at winning, and your jersey sales going up.
And that's what the guy who was with the NFL was saying. He was saying he didn't get kicked out the wrong reason, but that alone right
Well,
there. And then it came out even later that they wanted Cat to go to a team, I think Minnesota, just so he can stop the rioting. So like the fact that Breeze knew all of this and still said it, which makes it 10 times even worse.
Well, I look at all of the and I know where's Ben at. Ben, where you at?
I'm right here.
Okay, so first, we're gonna get to whether or not we believe Breeze. A lot of people say Breeze should retire because they'll never be the same now. But do you forgive Breeze? Do you feel like his comments? Do you feel like he felt like he really didn't know how to say it or what he was saying? One, and then two, what's your argument for Cap? Do you really feel like somebody really should genuinely go out and sign him? Because I thought the Seahawks would. That's my choice, by the way. But do you really feel like somebody should go out and really sign Kaepernick? Go ahead.
To this day, Kaepernick should be on the team. He's not enough to even be said. He's still not better. He's still not worse than every starting quarterback in the league. He's still better than He's still better than basically every backup in the league. So he should have a job, no question. And he didn't play sports for 4 years, and he still look better than most of the league. That's number one. As far as Drew Brees, I'm surprised Drew Brees said it, just because he's in New Orleans. But at the end of the day, I'm not surprised at all. I'm more shocked that he didn't apologize for it because
we knew that was
he knew what he meant. He didn't. Not like he didn't know what he meant. He knew what he meant. Drew Brees knew exactly what he meant.
Well, do you feel like his teammates gonna turn on him?
No, they already said they forgive him. And Kamara made a good point. We need to educate Drew Brees, which is true, but at the same time, Drew Brees is a veteran. I think Drew Brees is 40 years old. If it's still not and you still don't understand the issue, then no one can change you.
That's just like Fangio or whatever that
Yeah, Fangio, I heard something about him, yeah.
Yeah, he talking about he didn't notice it was racism in the NFL. Are you serious?
Well,
where you been at the last decade?
My thing is, and I understand, I'm not saying this and I don't care, because, people say stuff about me anyway, I don't care. When white people start their sentences off about what their grandparents did, I automatically, in my mind, go to racism. That's just me. And I felt like him using his grandfather as if his grandfather and two other people were the only people in the war. He just made it seem like it was just more about. Yeah, it was like I'm not even like what you basically just said is you've never supported Kaepernick. One, but when I look at other quarterbacks really around the league, like Aaron Rodgers, Brady, Mahomes, I told he may be genuine. Carson Wentz came out. He came out I think first like 2 days after and said something. When you look at those white, I'm not focused on the black quarterbacks right now, but when you look at those white quarterbacks that come out and speak like that, and then for Drew Brees to finally get time, I just thought that this is the time where any white person really could speak up and say they support us, and they automatically get fans on their side. I just think it's the easiest thing to do right now for them, and Drew Brees just totally just went in everybody's face and was like, look, I don't really care. As long as y'all don't disrespect my flag, I'm fine.
That's exactly how I felt. Like, he was asking a question about the systematic racism and injustice and how white guys are dealing with it. And it's like his response was, I don't really like that. Like basically when he like that face, like you don't care about anything that he can talk about. You just trying to like change the subject and put your two cents in your head. He didn't say anything toward the question at hand. Like he ain't say nothing about oh yeah, my grandpa served in the war. I don't.
Well, I mean, and Cap had came out a while ago and said that somebody in the military came to him and told him it was okay to kneel.
Right. That's kneeling is not just deemed disrespectful. Sitting down, kneeling is.
Well, I just wish he would have addressed the George Floyd situation. I think right now, what we see every other country right now is protesting, whether it's violently, whether it's peacefully. But I've never seen a protest like this. And go ahead.
It's sad because he didn't even address the question.
Right.
What this was, right. He didn't address the question at all. And what this reminded me of was the Rodney King riots back in the days in L.A. They killed a black man in L.A. The cops and the same thing took place with the rioting and the looting. I mean, I'm not saying the looting is correct, but what the people are saying is they want to be heard. How long can we keep saying the same thing and seeing the same thing take place and not retaliate? It's just like if you have a dog and you beating that dog for no reason, one day that dog is going to get tired and snap at you because he's tired of getting hit for no reason. This ain't the first time it's taken place with a cop killing a black person or a minority. No. Amadou Diallo. That's another one. They thought he had a gun. His cell phone was a gun when cell phones first came out. What about the guy Eric Gardner with the cigarettes? He said he couldn't breathe, and y'all still choked him out.
But the thing is, I think from here on out, every time something like this happens, there's going to be a riot. And I thought this riot this time went on way longer than usual. Last time it was like a day or two. This time it was like 5-6 days straight. But this time it was in almost.
But
it was in a lot of states.
You know what was worse?
What?
Law enforcement is not going to get any respect.
Oh, they can't. There are people that's not even pulling for them. Yeah. Well, that's the thing. The thing is, though, and I don't mean to go off topic, but I always wonder.
Sleeping?
Is somebody
sleeping?
Oh.
Yeah,
y'all let Lee Farrell alone. So somebody, no, but honestly,
I'm literally right here. That's definitely not me, bro.
Well, somebody,
Yo, Reese, that wasn't me, bro.
Reese, you heard of the story, right, Reese?
Y'all know Mama got an episode. That was Sarah. Woke up.
No, I'm serious, bro. I'm literally saying I'm over it.
Whatever, Lee Farrell alone. He was just up. Anyway, no, so I always wonder.
I'm really listening to everything you're saying.
I just wonder why. And I don't mean to get off topic. I promise we'll jump back on. But yesterday, it came up. You know, I always watch the news and whatever. Like this president spent so much time trying to build a wall to block out. He can say whatever he wants to block out Latinos. But when you look at the Latino community, the way it will be 10 of them in one house. They'll all work a job. They do everything in unity. And I think for as long as we can, the rioting and all that stuff go on, the killing is going to keep happening. Because now, every time the police lock up a black person, the camera's going to be on. Every single time it's going to be on.
Started on this president.
I mean, listen, we might as well get started. It's bad. Right. It's bad.
So,
it's really bad.
With all this kneeling, when Kaepernick was kneeling in the NFL, he tweeted multiple times about Kaepernick kneeling and disrespecting the flag. When this took place with Mr. Floyd, did he tweet anything? No. He's standing in front of a church holding up a Bible. Do you know Hitler held up the Bible saying
Yep,
the same
it's the
thing.
same exact picture.
Come on.
Same exact picture. I believe.
Wait. Y'all missing some stuff. Y'all missing it. Y'all missing like a point to this real quick, right?
No, the president was racist.
No, I'm not saying that. But Trump,
Yes, he is.
publicly said if these protesters come any closer to this White House, they're gonna be met with armaments, weapons, and a fleet of dogs. So
Well, I think the thing is, I always said, and I will admit this. When Trump got elected, I was like, I said to myself, I said, my family's not going to be affected. Nobody's going to be affected. I thought that he would literally get in, get out. This guy, the closer to election, I believe this guy wanted to activate martial law. It is hard for me to believe that he didn't. I say this, and I never meant this, but I absolutely say this. There's no way that I can be friends with anybody that supports Trump. There's no way that I can claim to be cool with anybody that supports Trump. At this point, he is affecting the sports world. He's affecting black and whites. To see the white and black people come together against him, what is the best thing that could have happened. And I just thought, I mean, just watching him just... Yeah, but I'm saying he's
in office.
Go ahead, Ben.
I think what a lot of people really mostly like frustrated with is just the hypocrites. You know what I'm saying? Like it's like the NFL. They just donated $20 million to social injustice and everything like that, which is cool. But they still can't give us a reason why Cap not in the NFL. You know what I'm saying?
And they won't give it to you. You're not getting it. You're not getting it.
That's what I think a lot of people really is upset about. The hypocrite part about it. Like Drew Brees, this one you can't just apologize from this one. Even Ed Reed, and Ed Reed is one of the most classiest people you will ever find to play this game. He called Drew Brees a sucker, and they got much respect for each other. It just is. You just so many hypocrites with it. It's first it's Black Lives Matter, and then it's like, all right, Cap is still wrong from kneeling. It's like, yeah, we want to support y'all, but we don't want Kaepernick in the NFL. Kaepernick didn't do nothing to anyone. He didn't do nothing
they should
to
bring
anyone.
Him, but you know who got power? If he really wanted to pull it right now, Jay-Z. Jay-Z.
No, not even Jay-Z, because Jay-Z still think that him setting up that private workout was enough, which it wasn't. The people, literally, the power is the white superstar. If A-Rod, Tom Brady, and mind you, they not, A-Rod said some good stuff, Brady said some good stuff, but if they kneel and they really push the issue on Kaepernick getting back in the NFL, he can get back in the NFL. Drew Brees especially. Drew Brees can go to Sean Payton and be like, they just had a whole package for Taysom Hill. For the multiple threats.
I ain't gonna lie to you. I'm gonna be very honest with you. If the Saints signed Kaepernick, everybody will forgive Drew Brees because I bet you the storyline will come that he was pushing.
They're not gonna sign him.
They're not gonna do that.
It's gonna take somebody. Let's say like before Andy Dalton got signed in Dallas, Jerry Jones would have signed him. That would have opened up so many doors, not only for Kaepernick, but for so many black people. When we got Arians in Tampa Bay, and he said, the only way I'm taking this job if I can bring my old coaching staff. The owners, the Glazer brothers, they didn't want to bring in his old staff at first. So he was going to turn down the job. And I didn't know at the time that his old staff consisted of Byron Leftwich and the old Jets coach. I never know what you did. Tar Bowles. I didn't even know that. So that's the only reason he took the job. So you can definitely tell who really has love for the minorities and the black culture and don't deal with the racism aspect. Don't look at as a minority as beneath them. And those who do.
Well, like I said, this time is the perfect time to sign Kaepernick. I'm telling you, I would just sign him just to sign him.
The sales would go through the roof.
It would be crazy. And I
even
think
if you don't sign Cap, just have all the NFL teams, all the owners just say, all right, we're taking me this season. just for social injustice. You know what I'm saying? We're in
Oh,
Black Lives
they're
Matter
gonna do
shirts.
something. They're gonna do, and I'm telling you, and
Every
this is why
team
I'm
has
shocked.
warm-ups.
I'm
Every
shocked
team
that
has warm-ups. Black Lives warm-up for the NFL while they taking a knee for 16 games. All right, now we really feel like y'all kind of grasping what we're saying. It's not even fun. You don't want to sign Cap? Cool. You really think you don't want to help your team? Cool. But we want to see some Black Lives Matter shirts flying around. We want to see some warm-up Black Lives Matter. None of the other stuff.
It's gonna be.
They have a whole month dedicated to the U.S. I forgot the name of that week or month they have where everyone's wearing an army fatigue and a camo. We can't have a month for Black Lives Matter.
But you know what?
That's what we're asking. You know what's
died out? You know what's died out, Ben? Black History Month doesn't exist anymore. As much as they say, oh, Black History Month, the NFL has never really recognized Black history, period, anyway. I think the thing is, though, when I look at the Ravens owner, for example, this guy donates millions to social justice, but he is also one of those people, I ain't gonna say white people, but he's one of those people who believes that everybody look at money, and when celebrities donate money to organizations, I
think that's the answer.
but that's not the answer. Like, nobody cares about that because you got the money to do it. You know what that's going to do to people. What about standing out and being on the front line? I'm going to tell you one guy that I promise, if he ever does it, it'll set the NFL on fire. Robert Kraft or Jerry Jones ever.
Those two, right? They hold a
Take
lot
a
of
step.
weight.
Either take a step. Because when Kaepernick took that knee or whatever, yeah, the seats were empty. But how fast did they fill back up? They fill back
Jerry
up.
Jones is
They
the
fill back
face
up.
of the media. He hasn't said anything. And he's in the media every day.
Yep.
If he was to sign Cap or take a stand or say something about it, it would hold so much weight. Jerry Jones, Robert Kraft.
Yeah, exactly. And my thing is, you think about it like this. How many people could see a homeless person or a person in need outside, give them $1 and walk off? A lot of people. But how many people will give them $1, buy them food, and sit out there with them? No, basically nobody. And that's basically it right now. You donate 20 mil, 1 mil here, 10 mil here. You donate all this money, but how many of y'all really sitting with us? How many of y'all really outside with it? Yeah, money is a thing, but it's not everything.
Why does it have to be public? Why do you gotta even publicize it? Why do you even gotta go out and put it out there?
Because they want their recognition.
Yeah.
You know what's crazy? It's funny you brought that up, because when I do local in Staten Island, there's this homeless guy, and I don't know if he's sick or what, but sometimes he don't have on no shoes or no coat. I gave him a coat for one. Then one day I bought him, he was asking for money, right? This is how it started. He was asking for money. And I went to give him $5. And he said, no, just give me your coffee. And I was like, Dad, I need this coffee. In my head I'm saying, I need this coffee. I'm tired. I need to wake up. But I gave him the coffee. I got back on the bus. The next day I see him again. So I bought him a bagel, and I'm sitting out there, I'm conversating with him. Would you believe one of my coworkers said, yo, why was you talking to him? He's nasty. He's dirty. This man is a human being. You think he want to be like that? He's just less fortunate than we are. We're lucky to have these jobs. We're lucky to have a house to go into and a roof over our head.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Well, that's what I think sometimes. I think there's some people, and I despite how I might act in chat, I'm a very humble person in the real world. But that says nothing. No, I'm not. No, I can't help that. But honestly, I think we all can go stories. Oh Lord, there's millions of stories and things like that. I think, there's this lady on the story. She mops the floor. What do they call it? Janitorials? She's
in your mouth.
Yeah, she's a janitor, and she comes in every morning, and I mean, she sprays the spray. I mean, it really lights up the room. But she mops the floor every day, yada yada yada. And honestly, my supervisor. She's one of them Trump supporters, and she says she's not moving fast enough. Tell my supervisor that, yada yada yada. and I overhear her, but I'm the type of person that like to speak loud, so I go over and speak to the lady, and she's like, I know they talk about me. You know, I told her, I said, they talking about you over there. She said, I know they talk about me. She said, but God got me. She said, this is not it for me. And this lady probably make $12 an hour, maybe $11 an hour. This Trump supporter making probably 60,000, 70,000, and it's just crazy that these janitors working as hard as they work and as much work as they do, but this girl sits on her butt all day. It's crazy how the world works. The people that do labor make the less amount of money, but people that sit down all day, you know, they make a lot of money. And I'm not saying they're not doing anything, but
it's a lot reason for that. It's a reason for that. It's because they were set up to make money. Think about it. If we was, you ever saw the movie Trading Places? That might be before your time. It's about these stockbrokers that was investing all this money. They was making this money, and they made a bet. One made a bet that if a black person was in the same situation, that he could do the same thing, and the other one was like, no, he couldn't. And Eddie Murphy happened to be this black guy. He was homeless. Right. He made more money. He made better decisions. And that's what I'm getting down to. They were put in the right situations back in the days. When they start talking about my grandfather, my forefather, they set y'all up to succeed because whatever money they had, they left to you.
Yep.
The black people were slaves. They didn't have no money to do anything with.
Black people are just starting to root themselves that way. Yeah.
And then you get the ones that make a little bit of money and they become Oreos. They forget where they came from. They're not humble anymore. They're very arrogant and look down on the rest of the black people. No, show them how to come up. And it's sad because we step on each other's neck. Oh, he got a new car, he take you all that. Not, oh, the car is nice and keep it pushing, even if we don't like the car.
Well, that's what I'm saying. You know, you got some people like, you know, one woman goes to the other woman and say, well, you know, I got a raise, you know, and the black woman says back to her, well, I ain't get a raise in like 3 years, 4 years. And it's like, rather than just being like, you know, thank you, I'm glad you got a raise, God bless you, and move on with their day. The problem is, though, to go on to what you're saying is, a lot of black people are in competition, whether it's money, whether it's cars, houses, whatever the case may be. And a lot of times, you know, we have to learn that we can't be in competition with each other. When I look at all the black businesses out here and everything that, you know, the black culture, the music, everything that we have, people can just come in and steal it, and then it's a whole entire. Even the rappers today, like they're going against each other. You got, you know, rappers just trashing each other and killing each other and all that stuff. I don't know the story about Tupac and them, and I don't even want to get into it. But the separation that goes between the black people, I mean, it's insane. And I know a lot of people say it started way back when. But, you know, Martin Luther King, I just wonder if he was just around to see Obama get elected, if he was just around to speak again, I just wonder how people today will react to him.
Well, there's also a lot of smoke and mirrors and everything. Like people see, like EA posted something. Yeah, we with the African American community.
Yeah, whatever.
And a lot of Madden players with that. But people forget, like last year, EA bleeped out Colin Kaepernick's name in the song. How are y'all with him? Because this happened.
It's a trendy thing. It's a trendy thing.
Y'all just took his name out of a whole song, and y'all wasn't even allowed to do that. Like, you bleeped his name out like it was a curse word.
Right.
He's not even a free agent in the game. He's a free agent in real life.
This guy has gained $1 million in the last 2 weeks. This guy gained $1 million in the last 2 weeks.
Where did you get that from? Is that real on 2K?
Yeah. No, it was on Madden, I thought.
What?
The Colin Kaepernick song.
No. The Black Lives Matter. The thing he put in the chat.
Oh yeah, that's 2K. You know 2K be riding.
Oh yeah, 2K shows love.
2K be riding.
EA is, as I say,
I'm about to put that in OGs
as I told G, as I said before, it's a trendy thing. Everybody, this is the time to jump on. But it's hard for me to believe that this season, Kaepernick won't even be in it. And I just wonder what Kaepernick's doing now. Is he talking to teams? But I just hope that Seattle signs him. Russell Wilson is forever the franchise quarterback. I think he's going to be that quarterback to the end. But Kaepernick has to start somewhere as a backup, probably. It's okay.
I think he just want to be in the NFL.
And I believe that if he comes back and he fails, then we'd be like, you know what? Okay, he wasn't worth it. But it's way bigger than just us. Just I don't know. It's so much, and a lot of people say, black people ain't impressed. I had one guy on Facebook, well, you wasn't around to be slave. But I'm like, bruh, the fact that we got to check our race and our ethnicity on our job application.
That's already telling you something.
To this
What's
day,
the difference between
I check white all the time. That's why I get into it.
When Texas had that hurricane, what's the difference between why J.J. Watt, more of an American than Colin Kaepernick when he fought for his cause, donated so much money for his cause. Colin Kaepernick did the same thing. What makes J.J. Watt more of an American, for taking care of his state? When Colin Kaepernick taking care of the whole race.
You know what? It did not. I always say, and I'm not saying this because I don't know. I'm a believer that voting doesn't change everything. Right now, the president changing would be beautiful. But I'm saying, in my opinion, voting doesn't change everything. We still have to carry ourselves a certain type of way. And I understand the black on black crime.
They won't vote. That's the problem.
Well, yeah, of course they're not. Of course, but I think this vote turnout. Listen, I think Joe Biden is going to smoke Trump in the vote. That's just my opinion. I just believe that this guy, to be a president, and you already on Twitter, but this guy is making threats and they still keep his account up. This guy makes threats. I mean, they listed today I'm just gonna go over a few of them. Everything he says by the year. 2016, he asked black voters, "What do you have to lose? You have nothing." 2017, he asked a reporter to set up a meeting with the Black Caucus because she was black. 2016, Trump tweeted a picture alleging that Hillary was Jewish. And I don't know if y'all remember when Trump was saying that Obama wasn't even American. I think that was somewhere,
That was right around the election time because he was trying to say he was like a terrorist or something.
To add on, he said 58% of the black community don't have jobs, y'all unemployed, y'all living in poverty. What do you have to lose? I'm like, oh, okay.
This guy spoke, but I just did not think that as a president you would be this reckless. If he wins the presidential nomination again, we can kiss America goodbye. I believe that it will be the end. And in fact, I was hoping a couple of them got over that White House gate.
And he will win.
But they wouldn't have made it far.
Because it's so much people with hate in their heart. It's so many people with hate in their heart. He's gonna win. Some people just literally.
Well, you know what happened?
Like minorities,
came
bro,
out,
and that's just the bottom line.
But they came out with Joe Biden. They came out with Joe Biden. What you say?
White people will always kill. They love our culture, they'll try to jock our culture, but they fear us because
when they get in them, but when they get in them voting booths, they an entire different person. When they get in them voting booths, they vote. No, they vote how they want.
Like Trump said about the whole poverty thing. All those people that were at that rally laughing like it was.
Yep.
Like they like that stuff.
Remember he was making fun of the lady.
Do y'all know it's a George Floyd challenge right now going around?
Oh yeah.
Where the white people are.
Yeah. But that's what I'm saying. The thing is though, Trump is just. It's hard for me to believe that watching presidents like Kennedy and those type of situations, for Trump to just come out and just be reckless like he is. And Nancy Pelosi, shout out to her, she tries her best. I really think that lady really tries her best to really try to get him out of there. I know they did this impeachment thing, but I've learned through the Senate and the whole government, I think everybody has really learn how the government works more now than ever. They don't care. They're going to stick with him because they feel like we don't fear nobody. He going to say what he wants to who he wants to. And I thought he was trying to start a war with China. He didn't pulled us out of the World Health Organization.
Kim Jong-un.
Oh yeah. We as China said, they said the racial tension that's going on in America. Oh Lord, it's lightning now. Oh God. It's going to be the end of us. And so I just think that, I don't know, I hope that America comes back to its senses. But Joe Biden, as soon as Joe Biden came back, you know what they say? He raped somebody. He raped this woman. This woman came out. Now where's she at? Where's she at now? That's what I mean. It's ridiculous. When he was in the presidential with Obama, he was fine. But the thing is, there's not enough pull for anybody. Beyonce and them can't even go out and say vote for Biden and he'll automatically win. It's crazy.
No, you know what? The black people, the minorities, Spanish, Mexican, whatever you are, if you're a minority, stop saying it don't matter. He gonna win anyway. Go out and vote. That's the thing. Go out and vote. Stop sitting out. The same way you get up and you go out to the
I want to see everybody in
office,
Crew vote. I
get
ain't
up and vote. Maybe somebody will create more jobs.
Even if we all go out and vote. The fact of the matter is, if we can't get those people that's high up with all the electoral college, we can't sway them.
But you know what? I think people hate him now. I really think the world is. I really think people have turned against him. I really think that.
But there's still a lot of people that love him.
They do, and they are the ones that's going to vote. But you know what I'm gonna tell you? You know what I'm gonna tell you?
Those are the ones that's silent right now.
But you know what's gonna happen? You can't walk around with a Trump shirt on now. Because now they're gonna beat you up. That's how it is. Like that's how bad it is now. And for me, they said they sent him down to the bunker. There's nothing that they could do but shoot those people out there in those protests. And it was millions. It was millions.
I got personal experience with it. Like my supervisor is 100% white.
I'm gonna use the restroom. Hold on. Go ahead.
He's white. You know what I'm saying? And he straight told me, yeah. Think of you as a son. You on your way to another promotion. I told him, yo, I'm starting my own business soon. Out of nowhere. Oh, yeah, we got to put the promotion on hold. You're going to have to change the position. We don't know how good you'll be at this job if you do this with your own business. Like, when I was under his wing,
now it's
everything was all interest, good. Right? As soon as I, trying to, drift off, get better, yeah, like, ain't no evolving. It's like you either going to stay under my wing or you out of here.
Whenever we try to evolve, they fear that. And that's why they try to keep us as much as they can.
This man going home with $375,000 a year. And you mad because I'm under 30 trying to start a business? Come on, bro.
Well, that's how they are. But that's how they are. G.Y., I got a question. How do you have a son, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do you feel like it's necessary to have that talk?
Let me tell you something. I have that talk all the time. I have more than one son. I tell them from day one. Listen, and ironically, one of my best friends is white.
Mm-hmm.
But I also have to speak my kids on the racism and the just basically America. Think about it. If I have a book that I show my kids when they're young of all the black inventors and their inventions.
Badly outside. Go ahead.
And a lot of people don't know. A black man invented the wheel. A black man invented the refrigerator. A black man invented the light bulb. They don't teach that at school.
No, they don't. But even got white teachers. They even got white teachers teaching black history. I don't like that.
Did y'all know Christopher Columbus really never even discovered America?
Well, yeah, they'll never. But that's what I'm saying. They'll never tell those things because the thing is, I always question like some parents don't know how to have the talk. So sometimes I think I have never had talk. I had to learn it. But some parents don't know how to sit down and be like, look, this is America.
I'm straightforward, man. I don't sugarcoat nothing. Listen, you got a boy. You gotta tell him. You can tell him. You know how many times, like when I first started working for the city, I had a Cadillac, a red Cadillac. I put 22s on it, and I'm driving my 10s. I would get pulled over every other day. Who caused this? What do you mean, who caused this? I work. You make enough money to buy a car like this? Why? Because I'm driving a Cadillac? Let me see your ID. I show him my ID. Oh, you work for the city. Yeah, I work for the city. Oh, I see you one of the lucky ones. Have a good day. And they keep with their comments. And Lord knows it took everything in me and my wife not to break his neck. Because I don't tolerate the nonsense.
Told you. But oh yeah. But you know what? When they don't have the badge on, they out here. But I'm saying, like, even I was just reading a story today, how they was setting up bricks outside to, like, just watching. Sometimes when people say theories and stuff like that, I don't believe it. But
how they put the bricks out there so the looters could come break the windows and stuff.
But I'm saying the audacity for them to have guns and walk up to a city or a state house and tell them they want the city reopened, they want the state reopened. You with guns outside, they just walk up and say we want to reopen, and they even threaten the mayor. How can you do that? But the moment they come out unarmed, the black people come out unarmed and protest, we got military, and I'll be honest. Last week I was like, look, looting is I don't like it.
We gotta be smarter about it, God. That's the only thing. I mean, you know, we want to be heard, but we gotta be smarter about it, and that's where it comes to becoming active in your community.
So you wouldn't let your son go out and protest?
Oh, he can go out and protest.
But I'm saying, is there a limit where you like, look, no, that's it?
Nah, no looting, because that's not doing anything. What is that doing?
So you believe? Do you believe that protests? But do you believe that protests are heard?
Yes and no. They're heard to a point where they want to.
This one is heard. This one is definitely being heard.
But we have to be smart about it and get into politics and get elected into office. We got to get into politics, man, because think about it. If you look at some of the congressmen, they're like 24 years old. They're learning politics from when they're young. And they just
but the issue though, you know what burns me up more than anything? Black people who sell themselves out and believe that black people are the issue. There are so many black people that look at other black people. No, I honestly not. We got this black guy at my job. He's the other unit secretary. This guy supports Trump to the fullest.
That's what I meant by when I said they become Oreos.
I was like, oh my god, like how do you like, what, you don't see what I see, you don't feel what I feel, and I believe that some people may be out there looting just to loot. You know, it's the time, look, they gonna go out and steal. You can do it, go do it. You know, that's in their mind. But the amount of people that's out there actually protesting, that's crazy.
You had Kiki Palmer out there on the front line breaking it down to the National Guard.
Well, National Guard, I mean, some police took a kneel and stuff like that. It was a nice thing to do, and I'm glad that we took this podcast to dedicate it, though. But it's so much, like, we're going for hours, and I Kaepernick, I hope Kaepernick I hope he just...
I don't think Kaepernick is going to get a job. You know Truth, that's in Blitz and OGs.
Yeah.
He put a poll today in OGs, and he said, here's my question to the group. Do you think Cap now gets signed? And two, do you think anyone else will kneel? And the results was crazy.
They will kneel.
They
but
said
here's
no.
my thing.
15 out of 17 said, no, he won't get another job, but yes, they will kneel.
Well, here's my thing. I voted no and yes. I said Cap won't be signed. The reason I believe Cap won't be signed is because the NFL owners are scared to see the reaction either way. They know what it's going to bring by now. They know the sales are going to be insane. But what they are scared about is whether or not these fans, the fans that buy the tickets, are the fans that are the rich white ones. That's the fans that buy the tickets. They are scared to make that stance. In my opinion, I feel like Kaepernick, when I watch him throw that deep ball, everybody knows what Kaepernick is about. And if he probably run fast, he probably still got the speed on him too. But even down to like the end. I was watching the Ravens again. You know, when Kaepernick's girlfriend came out. That's not the reason y'all didn't sign him, because Kaepernick's girlfriend came out and said, you know, she shouldn't have said. But the truth of the matter is, people like Ray Lewis and them have sold themselves out for white people, and now he's all team black. He's team this, team that. I don't know. For Kaepernick, I don't think he'll get signed. I think that we all hope so. In fact, if he gets signed, I think everybody will support that team the entire year.
Like we said, Jerry Jones, Robert Kraft,
they have
Arthur
to.
Blank,
It's not us.
Art
It has to
Rooney.
be the opposite. The people that we never would imagine doing it, do it. That's why it's such a big protest, because white people are out here helping. They the ones busting in the stores. You want to be quite frank. They the ones doing all that stuff. So a lot of times,
I know my stance. First team Kaepernick get signed to, genuinely, I'm riding.
yeah, we
I'm
all
a
should.
die-hard Cowboys
We all
fan,
should.
but I'm gone, dog. I'm gone. First thing that genuinely sign a man, like genuine.
That's a good
Listen,
word.
listen,
Genuine.
It's four owners that hold weight. As we said, Jerry Jones and Robert Kraft, those are the top two. But Arthur Blank of the Falcons and what's this other guy's name? I just said it. Man, Art Rooney from the Steelers. It's his son, I think. Now, right?
Steelers would never do it. Steelers would never do it.
That would hold something.
I believe the Steelers. For Kaepernick, he has to go to a. And I thought the Jaguars would sign him. Couldn't nobody tell me that a few years ago. I just knew they would sign him. But I thought the perfect time to sign Kaepernick was when people were taking, you know. Now the question is whether or not Kaepernick would kneel during the national anthem, or what he said.
Kaepernick still kneeling. He ain't never given that up. That's you see what just happened to George Floyd. Kaepernick is never quitting that.
But
That
it'll
kneel
be a natural. I can guarantee you one thing: Week 1 NFL, everybody will kneel. Everybody.
You better tell me we
Everybody
got
will.
Blaine Gabbert as a backup and we couldn't sign Kaepernick?
Nope.
Blaine Gabbert?
Nope.
Really? Come on.
Nope. And I'm
How
gonna tell
many
you,
games he
Ben,
gonna
you
win?
need to find a way to custom make. If Madden does not have Kaepernick in Madden next year,
They won't.
watch
They
how
won't.
much.
You need to edit the
Watch how much.
quarterback and make him
Watch how
Kaepernick.
much fire they. Watch how much fire they have under them. Watch. I guarantee you they will. I bet you they will. Now the question is whether or not they still have to pay him or not. No, probably not. Because his rights are still to the NFL. But I mean, well, yeah, but I don't know. So quarterbacks, the white quarterbacks that spoke up, I appreciate. Me and Ben was talking yesterday about whether or not we feel like they mean it. We don't know. I just feel like it's the time for you to come out and say something. For Drew Brees, he'll move on. I don't, you know, if he retire, he's not gonna retire, but. Like I said, he can never speak on a black issue because this will always be one. This is in fact, a lot of black artists are speaking up too, and they're getting canceled too. I mean, left and right, black people are just speaking up, they're getting canceled. For this whole situation, it's a mess. This is the first time where I honestly be honest in years that we can have a political talk in crew chat and nobody has a problem. I mean, we ran
People
into.
miss what the Broncos coach said too.
No,
I know Ben
Reese-
GY said that, but I don't know what he said.
He said his exact words was, "There's no racism in the NFL."
Oh well.
He ended up
Stephen A. Smith
He
said he got to
but
be
that's what I'm
blind.
saying. You only
Yeah, he ended up
apologize
apologizing
for
too.
it. But Stephen A. Smith kills me a little bit too, because I watched him and I'm like, bro, wasn't you the same one on Kaepernick head? Like you didn't. I will be honest with you. There's two
And
people in the
we had
sports
a whole
world.
argument on
Two
Twitter.
people in the sports world that have really stuck by Cap's side. Skip and Shannon. The entire time. There was and Skip is one of my favorite ever.
Do they even
Not
come
because
on anymore?
Not because he trolls like I do or whatever. This guy really does love black people, and unless he's faking like he's faking, but that is the perfect show between them two. Max Kellerman and Stephen A. They all right, but Stephen A. just go
I
off.
miss Skip Bayless.
Skip Bayless and Shannon. I mean, I go on YouTube every day and watch them. They genuinely, Shannon Sharp can speak for black people, bro. He knows exactly what he's talking about. And as he said if Drew Brees make the Hall of Fame, he said he just feels like Drew Brees will never get the same reception that he'll always get. He feels like when they walk out, he's gonna have to prove to everybody how it is. And he said it, Week 1 versus Brady is going to be hell. He think there's still hell to pay. He think people put bounties on his head for getting him injured. He think there's a lot to it.
Yeah, you could be right, but you know what? It starts. It's way before anything. What I mean by that is like you take Shannon Sharp.
Mhm.
He's a cool dude. He speaks his mind. But come on, man, what's going on with the polka dot shirts and the bow ties? You're letting the other people change your image.
I agree with that. I agree with that. I agree with that.
Martin, when Martin got his own show and they had him wearing the suits and everything and saying, "Oh, you don't watch Martin either, Kyle?"
I don't think I was born. I don't think I was born when Martin. What year Martin came out?
Drew Brees has posted a video.
I don't.
He
But
said
you know what?
he wanted to see, he wanted everybody to look in his eyes to see how sorry he is. That's why he made another video.
Well, you know what? You sorry because everybody came against you. I mean, I ain't gonna lie to you. This time
Shout out
right
to
here,
Aaron Rodgers.
Bruh, they have. Yeah, he really did. He really did. Aaron Rodgers really did. I said Aaron Rodgers did a good job.
Shout out to Aaron Rodgers. That's why you're my quarterback at Crew right now.
Oh Lord. I really, I'm gonna support Aaron Rodgers this year. I always say he was one of my favorites. He was one of my favorites. I mess with them a lot. Aaron Rodgers is one of my favorites.
Since when Aaron Rodgers one of your favorite, Kyle? It's always been Joe Flacco.
But why don't y'all want? Wait a minute, Reese. Wait a minute, but Reese. Every time I chose the Packers, y'all won, I think.
No.
Oh, what? Wow. Wow, that's not nice. Now I think, but no, Aaron Rodgers.
These are no A-Rod either.
Oh, wow, man, they shooting shots at you.
Aaron Rodgers don't want Kaepernick back in the NFL though.
Dallas want A-Rod to lead themselves too.
But you know what? Okay, well, we out. Ben, are you advancing, Ben?
Yeah, they finished.
Just a couple things. I'm about to say a couple things. There's a lot of good games next week. We got Phil versus Ben. We got Ike versus Pharaoh. We got Chris versus Tad. You got Airpun versus Herb. Oh. Battle of the Steelers fans.
for my W this week. Thanks, Ike.
D-Mac plays Slick. Mo plays D.
Who you play, Kyle? Who you play?
I'm getting a bum. Reese plays Yuri.
Wait, who you play?
I'm about to get to it. J-Raz plays JD. Battle of Blitz. I play Jimmy. And the Free plays the Cowboys user. I'm not sure who that. Oh, that's that dude.
Because from what I understand, they're saying that when you win, you just throw it up and you create pass interference.
Here's what I'm gonna say, and we're gonna end it with this. I'm doing everything that they said I could not do. Hey,
they said that everything you said you didn't do, right?
Let me be honest with you. I was averaging almost 50 interceptions a year with every other quarterback. Wait a minute. I'm giving my eulogy.
Come on, let's go.
I was averaging 50 interceptions a year. Oh, wait a minute. It's lightning outside. All right, y'all. I gotta get up out of here. I'll see y'all later. Yeah, it's lightning. I gotta get out of here.
You see that? You see the video I posted?